Saad Mohseni, you've got several hundred journalists working for you in Afghanistan. What do you know about their circumstances, and what are you hearing in general about what's happening in Kabul at the moment?
It's quite chaotic because even the Taliban didn't have enough time to organize and mobilize. So some pockets are under their control. Other parts of the city, there's virtually anarchy. Even if you look at the airport, there are thousands of passengers on the tarmac attempting to board planes which have been sitting there since yesterday, unable to take off from Kabul airport. So it's pretty crazy. And there was this opportunity to work towards a transition, but because the president ran away, the whole system collapsed. So we have to deal with this right now, and we have 400 employees, and they're stoically continuing their work in terms of broadcasting 24/7. But we are very worried, of course.
Well, two things seem to have happened incredibly quickly. One is the departure of the US, its allies, and as you say, key figures in the government, and also the advance of the Taliban. Can you reflect on how that happened, and particularly how it was that the Taliban were able to move just so quickly in the end?
Well, there are many factors. I mean, I think first and foremost, the Americans and their transition was a complete failure. I mean, you don't build a military in the mold of the US military reliant on contractors and US support, and then all of a sudden take that support away from them. That's one. The Afghan government has been inept, corrupt, and unable to manage the military over the last 7 years. It's been politicized. So everything that they could do wrong, they did wrong on both sides. And it happened quickly because these things happen quickly. But the Americans were not prepared. The Afghans certainly were not prepared. And now we have 35 million people uncertain about the future.
The questions about what happens next, of course, depend partly on whether the Taliban has changed and on whether Afghanistan itself has changed in the last 20 years. What's your reading? Has the Taliban changed at all? Is it the same essential group that were there 20 years ago?
We're not sure which faction within the Taliban would prevail. You have the military commission, then you have the political commission that's based in Doha, and within each commission you have individuals, and we don't know as to who's going to prevail and who's going to have leverage with these guys. Will it be Pakistan? Will it be the Americans, or will it be driven by domestic and local issues? I just spoke to the former President Karzai, who's staying put. He told me that he's going to meet with the Taliban. He's going to play this transitional role, it seems, just because there is no one else around. Have they changed? We have mixed signals. They have been fairly forgiving of some of the senior leaders who've surrendered, but in some towns and cities, they've been pretty harsh.
Well, the question, I suppose, that's being asked in Australia is, was it all worthwhile the last 20 years? Not just our involvement, but the whole intervention. Has it changed and made any improvements in Afghanistan that might last?
Well, the people have changed. It's become vastly urbanized. 9-10 million people go to school, girls and boys. Of the younger generation, 65, 70, perhaps even 75% are literate. So the country has changed. Of course, it's had a significant impact on the people. They have running water. Child mortality has dropped significantly. The economy has been booming, especially since the dark days of the 1990s. The country has changed. The government was corrupt, perhaps, but the people have changed significantly. I mean, this has been a huge success for the people of Afghanistan, I think, ultimately. Was it worth it? I think so, absolutely. But that's why this drawdown and the way it was actually executed is so tragic, because it didn't have to be this way.
Finally, the question is what happens from here, and how important is this question of recognising the Taliban as a way of providing a lever on what they do next from the international community?
I think it's very important to remain engaged. Disengaging and isolating the Taliban is simply going to make matters worse for most Afghans. Engaging them, talking to them, losing whatever levers you have to ensure that they respect women's rights, free media, human rights is going to be important for Afghans and for Afghanistan.
Saad Mohseni, thanks so much for talking to us tonight.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.